Hi, today I'm going to be answering a question for someone who wrote that said that she is 61 and has moved in the last few years and changed her life, um, but she doesn't feel called of what she's supposed to do next. And she doesn't have to work. She lives with her husband, and that's why she moved, for what he needed. But she's feeling like she doesn't know what's next for her, and she asked just simply, do my guides have any guidance for me? So I always speak with my council of angels, and they are always in connection with the person's actual guides, which we all have. So together they're going to share the message that wants to come through. And so I'm not even sure if we met before. And it was in Hawaii when I was speaking in a lot of communities a lot of the time, so maybe we met in something like that, but I don't know anything about your life, but I know that you have left Hawaii, and I know how that feels, and I know how lost it can be after spending that much time, maybe a decade longer, in that unique paradise, and then being in the world, and not knowing why you left paradise. It all opened for me in this way. The world became home. So I guess I just have a little personal hope for you that you get something really insightful, because I know how this can feel. So, okay, I'm going to go in and find out what wants to be shared with you. Thanks for writing. It's a really beautiful question. Okay. So instantly I'm seeing what I've been seeing since I started doing these online sessions, which are these different mounds of clouds on the other side, where souls gather entirely by resonance, by same vibration. What they want to learn and how they want to play comes to the same place. And the angels are very much telling me that what they're trying to show by this is that as above as below, we're meant to be with like-minded and similar vibration, similarly motivated, similarly inspired, similarly lit up, like to play the same way people. And that so far in the trajectory of humanity's spiritual evolution over, you know, thousands of years, there has been a lot of being with not like-minded, not similar, we'll just say non-resonant vibration, and that was a certain type of learning. Oh, this is all clicking in now. Okay, I'm getting it. I'm really getting it. Oh boy. Okay, so it's like we've been in a classroom where grade 1 to grade 6 are all in the same classroom, and there's a certain type of learning there. And my grandpa told me about having a one-room classroom when he was younger, and I asked him how he liked it, and he said, I mean, this is the 30s, right? And this is rural Canada, and he said that it was great. He could learn ahead. He liked to learn ahead of what he was about to learn, and that's how he used it. And then I said, wow, how long did that go for? And he said, well, in high school you had to go to your own grade. And he said that very matter-of-factly, like, of course, as you get older and more mature, you need to separate and go with similar resonance. And I didn't even question that. I was like, oh yeah, of course. So we both just intrinsically knew that, there's a time to be with people that are not similar when you're in the early growth stages. There's benefit there, but as you get older and more mature and more evolved, it's better to be with like. So I had the message. They're telling me to share everything I share. They're telling me. I just before I came to do this recording, I was sitting with my dear friend having morning coffee, as we do, and I'd had a dream last night that I was in Hawaii. She said, "You're dreaming about Hawaii a lot," and I said, "I know, because when I landed in Hawaii, I was no one and nothing. I had no idea what I was supposed to do there." But then magic started happening, and I had zero resources for it. I had no money, no connections, wasn't from this country. And then within a few months, I was speaking and on the cover of magazines and being circulated. Like, just whoever saw me and talked to me was like, you should come speak at this, you should come meet this person. And I mean, really within months, I had started to tap into everyone that wanted to create sustainability and have it happen in the state. So in my dream last night, I was starting again, but this time LA was Hawaii. And I was like, here I am again, no one, bottom of the totem pole. I came here with nothing. I know nobody. I haven't lived on mainland America ever. I don't even actually understand this culture, more so than I didn't understand other places I've been. This is the culture I understand the least of anywhere I've ever landed. And yet the magic started happening the same as Hawaii. And I was like, is it going to be the same? Where I connect with the people that want to make the same thing happen. And there it was a sustainability revolution. This is a consciousness revolution. This is all coming to, this is all going to come to full circle to what you're asking. And so they're just asking to stay on the journey of this, staying on the journey of this feeling of change and being called from Hawaii and how it can be different. It's very relevant for you, I get. So in the dream, when I went to wake up from it, it was like, yes, it's the same in a way. You're still in the flow, connecting with those that want to make the same reality happen. The difference is there you had no resources. Now you are meant to have full resources. So I went from making 6 figures before I got to Hawaii in my early 30s to making $20,000 a year for 4 years as I led a movement with no one paying me and just working a small part-time job on the side and getting paid, I think it was $12 an hour for 15 hours a week as a student for 4 years in my 30s, while all my other friends were buying houses and peaking in their careers and having babies. And so I really did it with no resources. And here it's a different time. It's meant to be, what you do with resources. And I'm about to turn 50, so I guess that makes more sense. And as I was talking about this dream, I had the notion to do these little, cards that we have sitting on the table. And just as I went to do them, it clicked in and I said to my friend, I said, I understand this. I'm doing the same thing, but this time with resources, no resources. And that's when it clicked in. And just then I shuffled the cards, and the card basically said, when you're growing different qualities and parts of yourselves, a lot of obstacles happen for that growth. The overcoming grows you. But once these qualities are integrated into who you are, you don't need that anymore, and you can actually grow faster by having no obstacles, so that you can really flourish with what you learned. So Hawaii was about everything being crunchy and hard. When people are like, oh, you lived in Hawaii, that was amazing and magical. I'm like, yes, the raw nature was amazing. And it throws everything at you for your growth and gives you paradise to handle it. So I could tell stories, and maybe you've experienced them, of the kind of challenges that are so in your face in the energy of Hawaii. It brings up what you need to look at. It doesn't let you hide from it. So it's the real deal. It's like, I don't know, soul growth boot camp, in my opinion, on Earth. Okay, so the reason that they're saying all of this is that there's a time where you need to be with like-minded people, very much in your vibration, and have a lot of resources to do something together. That's the leaving the schoolhouse with grade 1 through 6 all in the same room. If you try to put more senior years together, then you actually all stump each other. And if you try to keep having those types of experiences where you participate with the boss that isn't quite right, or the business partner that's not quite right, or the product you don't quite believe in, and you do that beyond the phase of growth and try to do that in the resonant, I'm supposed to be with resonant people, I'm supposed to have resources phase, you will fall on your face so quickly and fast that it will hurt. And I've so experienced this, and it's really hard to have decades in this phase and then let go of how that all worked to be in this totally different phase. And they're very different. So there's a graduation here, and there's this new part. And again, I always feel like it's like a seed that comes out of the hard shell and has to go towards an unseen light and hit rocks and dirt and what it has to get through, you know, those tendrils that come up through the cement. That can be the first phases of life. But then it breaks above the surface, and all of a sudden it's a raw, tender, overwhelmed, raw, vulnerable, there's nothing hard, there's nothing around it, exposed feeling. But all of a sudden it feels the light. And with that exposure also comes new light, and leaves start to unfurl, and new ways of accepting nourishment into the system. So they ask different things of us, these different phases of natural growth. And now we're going to get to you. So I get that not when you left, but when you finished the pandemic, truly only in the last 3 months, literally in the last 3 months, you have come to not only be broken on the other side of the surface, but you have tendrils and you have unfurling. So you have new parts of you that are blooming, and you know that there is nourishment from where you are. So it's time to bloom where you are planted. Not think about going on to anywhere else, not pine for Hawaii, but you're feeling a calling, and that's why you're asking the question. You wouldn't even ask the question if something in you wasn't like, I feel like I'm supposed to do more. When we have that feeling, often we harken back to what we did before. So you might be called for community and remembering how you built community before, but you would never build it that way, and you don't even want the same community. And so you're like, I feel community, but the way I did it before, yeah, it was great for that phase, but I don't feel the same thing yet. I know how to use those tools, but how do I use tools now for this? So we start to, I'm getting the word conflate. I actually don't even know what that word means really, but I love to look up words when I get them, and I don't know what they are, but I don't have a way to do that. But I don't know, what I see is old ways and new callings meshing together and gridlocking the ability. So it's really about letting go. And this is when you can ask the angels for help to really let go of old ways of how you did things, and let the calling be a pure, innocent calling. The way that the seed answered a calling for community is not the way that the leaves answer a calling for community. So you have to let go of what brought community and just hold on to the desire for community. It's a sacred longing that's beautiful, and it lights up the heart's beacon. And when the heart's beacon is lit up, it is what people call the law of attraction. It pulls in what you need, but it's not the mind coming up with it. It's the heart calling for it, and the heart only calls for it when it's in alignment with your soul's path. And when your free will is focused on where your soul's path is meant to go, the angels can come in and help in a heartbeat. And both my sister and I called each other yesterday with a kink in our neck. And when we have the same thing and we're guided to call each other, we know we're going through the same thing. And I said, let's, this is coming alive right now because we're meant to let go of it. That's why small aches and pains always happen. So let's ask the angels to take it away and show us what it's about. And it was something we both had in common. And we named it and then asked the angels to take it away. And we wrote each other later, about an hour later. And I was like, I am perfectly fine. And she's like, I am perfectly fine. So the angels can only help when our free will asks for it, and it's in alignment with our soul plan that we designed before we got here. So your soul plan wants you to bloom. You do have another purpose, and you can't do it the way you did it before at all. So drop everything you ever knew before and be like an innocent child. But you're not an innocent child as a seed where it's going to be hard and crunchy. You're an innocent child as an unfurling first leaf. And from that, you can start to notice all of nature dancing around you is going, the whole flow of this ecosystem of life is going to bring you people, conversations, activations, things that no longer work are going to be very obvious, and you're going to let them go. You're going to be dropping the soil from the leaf that doesn't serve you anymore, and really welcoming in what wants to dance with you right now in life. But the thing you have to drop is any old way you would do the same thing, the same calling for purpose, for community. I get those two things, purpose, community.